So take us through, like, what do you think, and I've told you this before, like all of the techniques that you talk about, like you talk about having a superpower, like a real superpower, right? Like nobody else does what we do, but all the things that you talk about apply because a lot of the listeners are not in the IT industry, but everything that you talk about, all the concepts that you have work across the board. Because
Yes.
I've seen people with bits and pieces of like what you do, and that's contributed to their success because we service a whole bunch of different industries. Like what are the basics? Like if you're talking to like a young Gary Pica, like what do you want to say to him? Like he or she's starting a business. Like what are some of the nuggets that you could share?
There's a lot, but I'll pick a couple. Number one is most entrepreneurs don't have what I call command over their business. They don't even know, like I'll meet them, people from all types of businesses find their way to me, and I'll always make time for people. They're having problems usually with growth and profitability. I start to ask them questions, key questions about their cost drivers, and then try to drill in. Like, okay, then what are the two metrics to drive that, and what drives that? I have to ask my accountant. I have to ask my operations person. I'm like, hey, you're not running IBM here, dude. Like, you need in every business, right? And I've been both in, professional services business. Everyone's got to be in a role. That role has to be tied to your unit of measure for cost and top line revenue and the metrics that drive success in it. In the software business, we had different metrics, but we had very clear metrics about what makes a software company successful. And not only do you need to have complete command over it, but everybody in their role needs to know what their metrics are and why. I find that most people want to be successful in their job, but they're not put in a job where success is clearly defined, right? They don't know. They don't really know what success looks like. They get frustrated. The owner gets frustrated. The leader gets frustrated, whatever, it's depending on the scale of the business. So number one is having command of the business. And number two is then with that, you got to put accountability in place. That means instrumenting those metrics, looking at them all the way down to everybody in that business has to be accountable to something. And you have to have a business planning process, right? You read the book Scaling Up by Vern Harnish or Gino Wickman, EOS. You have to have an operating system of how you do a 10-year vision and a 3-year targets and a 1-year plan and take that down to quarterly actions. And when you have enough command to know what the most important things to do are, because in every business, there's 100 things you can fix in a year. And most people fix 100 of them and never grow or become more profitable because there's 5 of them that'll actually move the needle.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know which 5 out of the 100.
Right.
Once you have command and know the 5, and then you have accountability system in place that every quarter you're doing a couple of the most important things, it's literally like magic, right? It's literally like magic. And then realize that every business is a go-to-market business.
Yeah.
You're not in the computer business. You're not in the janitorial business. You're not in the recruiting business. You are in the go-to-market business.